Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to teach you how to make this very simple knitted bralette. So if I try it on, I'm just going to put it on top of my t-shirt. I demonstrated for a size small, of which I'm a size small, and you can see how it fits perfectly well, but I'll be mentioning all the variations that you need to make to change this to different sizes from extra small all the way to XXL. So for this tutorial you will need a 3.75mm crochet hook, a 2.75mm crochet hook, and then a pair of scissors and a darning needle and yarn. For the yarn I use milk cotton yarn for this tutorial, but you can use any yarn that you have available. So the 2.75mm crochet hook is going to work on the backups. Then when it comes to the knitted part, you're going to switch to a bigger hook. So I used one hook up above the original hook size that I was using. So the mesh was made using the 3.75, and then the inner backup was made using the 2.75 in order to have very close stitches that are not so transparent. So let's jump into the video and learn how to make this top. So this top can be a very good match for one of the skirts that I made in one of my previous tutorials. I'll be leaving the photo on the screen as well as the link to the video tutorial for the skirt, and then you can match it up with this particular top in order to get a full set. So if that's what you want, just check the link in the description box below. I'll be leaving the link to the video for that. So let's begin. Okay, so to make your backup, I'll be demonstrating using a brighter color so that you can see everything that I'm making. I'm using a kind of thicker yarn. This is not fingering weight, it's like more like medium weight yarn, and it's called milk cotton, and I'm going to use my 2.75mm crochet hook. So you're going to make a slip knot, and we're going to make a backup that fits us. So I'm going to be explaining what I do for the different sizes, but this is not gospel truth. You can add a row or subtract a row depending on the fitting that you want. So I'm going to make a chain of 16. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And this is for the size small. If you're a size extra small, you're going to make a chain of 14. If you're a size medium, you're going to make a chain of 19. If you're a size large, you're going to make a chain of 22. Extra large 22 as well, and XXL you're going to make a chain of 24. So that's what I do for mine, but you can measure from your nipple down to the base of your breast and make a chain that runs from there down to the base of your breast, and then go into the third chain from the hook. So 1, 2, and into the third we're going to place a double crochet and keep placing double crochets into each and every chain. Continue to place one double crochet into each and every chain until the second last chain. So we have one last stitch here, and into that you're going to place a total of 3 double crochets, all in the same chain, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the same exact chain. So after this, we are now turning to work on the back side of the chain. So go into each and every chain with 1 double crochet until the end of your row. Okay, so we are done with our row. Now we're going to row 2, and you're going to chain 3, turn your work, and you're going to go into each and every stitch with 1 double crochet until you reach the chain 2 space. Alright, so I'm placing my last double crochet before the chain 2 space, and the chain 2 space is here. So you'll go into it with 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets like that, and then go all the way down with 1 double crochet into each and every stitch. So after placing your last double crochet into the last stitch, you'll have something that looks like this, and we are going to repeat row 2. Chain 3, turn your work, 1 double crochet into each and every stitch until the chain 2 space, and when you get to the chain 2 space, you place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets, all in the same chain 2 space, and you're going to keep working this for a total of 6 rows for extra small, 7 rows for small, 9 rows for medium, 11 rows for large, 13 rows for XL, and 15 rows for XXL. So continue to do that until you get your desired number of rows. Don't forget, when you get to the chain 2 space, you place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. Okay, and then you go on and place 1 double crochet into each of the remaining stitches. So I'll meet you back when I have my total number of rows that I want for my bra cup. So I have a total number of 7 rows, and I'm working on a size small. So just go ahead and do that total number of rows that you need for your size. So when you have your first bra cup ready, you're going to go ahead and make a second one identical to this one. I have already started working on my first one, and I'm going to walk you through the process of creating this mesh pattern on top of the bra cup. But basically we have 2 bra cups exactly like this one, then we shall start working on the mesh part. So I'm going to be demonstrating how to do this part onto this plain bra cup. So let's begin. So when you're done with your very last stitch, you'll chain 1 and leave a strand. This strand will be used to join onto the second bra cup. So to begin the mesh pattern on top of the bra cup, you're going to make a slip knot, and you are going to count to the 3rd stitch from the chain 2 space. So we have that chain 2 space here. So you're going to count 1, 2, and into the 3rd, you're going to go in from the back like that, and then attach your yarn and single crochet into that same space, into the same stitch. Then you're going to chain 15. So I have my 15 chains, and you are going to single crochet into the third stitch from the chain 2 space in the middle of the bra cup. So this is the space 1, 2, and into the third stitch you're going to make a single crochet in there. So that will create our very first loop, as you can see here. And now you're going to slip stitch into the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And after that you're going to chain 15. After your 15 chains, you're going to turn your work and you're going to count to the 8th chain of the first chain 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And into the 8th you're going to make a single crochet in there and chain 15. And then you're going to skip over 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the 5th you're going to make a single crochet. So this is what you'll have. Now you're going to repeat that. Slip stitch into the next 5 stitches, and then chain 15. After your 15 chains, you're going to turn your work and you're going to go into the 8th chain of the first chain 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And into that 8th chain you're going to make a single crochet there, chain 15, and then go into the next loop and place a single crochet into the 8th chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You're going to place a single crochet in there, and then you're going to chain 15, and you're going to skip over 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the 5th you're going to make a single crochet in there. So look what we have. The mesh pattern has started forming onto the bra cup. So after your single crochet you're going to slip stitch into the next 5 stitches, 3, 4, and 5, and you're going to make a chain of 15, turn your work, go into the first loop and make a single crochet into the 8th chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Make a single crochet in there, chain 15, make a single crochet into the 8th chain of the next loop, like that, chain 15, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, make a single crochet in the 8th chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then chain 15, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. You're going to skip over 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the 5th you're going to make a single crochet in there. So this is the progress of our work. And then we are going to repeat that. I'm going to walk you through the whole process. So slip stitch into the next 5 stitches, chain 15, then single crochet in the 8th chain, of the first chain 15 loop, then chain 15, single crochet in the 8th chain of the next loop, chain 15, single crochet in the 8th chain of the next loop, chain 15, single crochet in the 8th chain of the last loop, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then you're going to chain 15, 4 5 6 7 8, 9 10 11 12 13 14 and 15. Skip the next 4 stitches, 1 2 3 4, and into the 5th you're placing a single crochet in there. So this is how your work should look like. Right now it looks funny, but when this mesh falls on top of the bra cup, everything makes more sense, like that. So we are doing this until we get to the bottom of the bra cup. So I'm slip stitching into the next 5 stitches, just like I've been doing before. And you can see we are almost at the base of the bra cup. So this will be my last row before I join the 2 bra cups together. So this side I also have about 5 to 6 stitches on this side. So let me do the last row. So after your slip stitches, you're going to chain 15, and then turn your work and single crochet in the 8th chain of the first loop. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. You're going to make a single crochet in the 8th chain, chain 15, single crochet in the 8th chain of the next loop, chain 15, single crochet in the 8th chain, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8, 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 and 15. Single crochet in the 8th chain of the next loop, chain 15, 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 and 15. Single crochet in the 8th chain of the last loop, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Make sure you get the exact middle stitch, which is the 8th chain. So After this, you're going to chain 15. After your chain of 15, you're going to skip over 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to make a single crochet into the next stitch, which is the last stitch. So as you can see, we've repeated the same exact thing over and over again, and the loops keep increasing every row. So you're going to have something that looks like this. Sorry, let me first remove this. Every row that you create the mesh pattern, the loops are going to keep increasing and increasing every row, because we are increasing the loops by 1 on every row, and that will create the triangular shape that's going to cover over the bra cup. So you just keep continuing that until you get to the base of your bra cup, because I know not all of us are going to have the same exact number of loops. Some bra cups are bigger and longer depending on the size that you made. So once you have this ready, so for you, this is going to be your first bra cup. You're going to go ahead and do the same exact thing on this side. Only difference is for the first bra cup, you cut your yarn. For the second bra cup, my yarn is still attached to the yarn ball, so we're going to do something different. We're going to place our... You're going to decide where the mesh can be. It can be on this side, as you can see. You can switch it to any side before you start the joining. So you're going to decide where the mesh will be. I think I'll have it on this side. I'm determining that by my last row of the bra cup is on the right side, so that's where I want to put the mesh pattern. So same applies to this side. So you're going to get this side that has those loose ends, and we are going to join the 2 bra cups together. So I'm going to make sure I'm not joining on this side that has the yarn connected to the yarn ball. So just get a loop here. You can use a darning needle. Can't see my darning needle. Let me just use this. I have, oh, here it is. So I have my darning needle here, and what I'm going to do is to attach a few stitches of the bra cup. So the first stitch to the first stitch here, and I'm going to attach 2 times so that it's secure. Then the next stitch to the next stitch, I'm going to attach about 3 to 4 stitches, and I'm attaching 2 times, as you can see. So the next stitch to the next stitch. Okay, so those are 3 stitches, and that's enough. Now you're going to put your darning needle to the back and weave in this tail. Just go into several stitches, weaving in this end. Make sure it's secure enough. Just go back and forth into several stitches so that you secure it. And after this, we are done joining the 2 bra cups together, as you can see here. So just lay your work flat like this, and now we are we are going to make a chain on both ends of the bra cups. So on this side, I'm going to make a chain of 15. And then the 16th is going to just fasten off that chain. So that 16th chain, just pull it so that it can close up. Then you're going to cut your yarn from this end and then attach it to this other side and make a chain of 17. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 and 17. So we've made a chain of 17 because the two chains are the turning chains. So when you go into the third chain from the hook, so the fourth chain, 1 2 3, and into the fourth, the first chain 3 counts as a stitch. So when you go across this chain, you'll have a total of 15 double crochets. Just double crochet into each and every chain across until you get to the body of the top. Alright, so when you get to the body of the top, you're going to go into each and every double crochet row with 2 double crochets into each row. So as you can see there, 2 double crochets into each and every double crochet row. And this is the row that's going to lie right below your bust. So just go across, placing 2 double crochets into each and every row. So when you come to the end of the first bra cup, you just cross over. So this is what we have right now. You just cross over to the opposite side and continue to place 2 double crochets into each row. Like that. So when you make it to the end, you're now going to start placing 1 double crochet into each and every chain on the side, and you should be having a total of 15 double crochets. Just like we have on the opposite side. Make sure you balance the number of stitches on both sides. Like we have here, should have the same number of stitches on this side. Okay, so I'm placing my last double crochet into the very last stitch, and you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. So this is what we have, and now we are going to work our very final row of the mesh. I don't know how long you want your mesh to be, but you're going to make a slip knot, and then you're going to go into the 8th chain. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. The 8th chain of the first loop, and attach your yarn. Then you're going to make a single crochet into that same exact chain, like that. And then you're going to chain 15. And then go into the 8th chain of the next loop with a single crochet. Chain 15. Go into the 8th chain with a single crochet. So this last row is just to help us go past the base of the bra cups, so that we have something a bit extra on the lower part of the bra cup. So 1 2 3 4 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. To the 8th, single crochet in there, chain 15, single crochet into the 8th. And here we are going to do something a bit different. I'm going to show you how to do this middle loop. So chain 15, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 and 15. So you're going to find the 8th chain of this loop, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. Insert your hook and find the 8th chain of this loop, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So the 8th chain is here. So we are going into the 8th chain of the loop on this side and the 8th chain of the loop on the opposite side, and we are going to place our single crochet. That may look weird, but it helps us to bring in that chunk in the middle of the bra cups. So after that, you're going to continue to chain 15. After that, go into the 8th chain with a single crochet. Then 11 12 13 14 15. So this is what we have, as you can see here. Chain 15, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, make a single crochet. And then chain 15, and then into the last loop, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, into the 8th chain you're going to place a single crochet in there. So remember, we started this row in the middle of the very first loop, so that means we end it with a single crochet in the middle of the very last loop, and this is what you'll have. And I think that's it for the mesh part. We are not going to make it so long, just like the photo that we have in the thumbnail. After this, you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. So now we're going to start making the fringes that are going onto the lower part of the top. At this point, we are done with the general shaping, the general structure of the top, as you can see. So you're going to cut some strands depending on how long you want your fringe to be. So my strands are about 14 inches, 13 inches. So you're going to get 3 strands at a go, and we start attaching them. Just make sure your work is on the right side and go into each and every loop and attach a fringe, sorry. So 3 strands, then you attach a fringe at every chain 15 loop at the base of the mesh, like that. So I'm attaching into the very last loop of my top, and this is what your work will look like after that. Now we are going to make our straps. The straps are going to be just very simple chains. So what I want to do is to leave a tail and make a slip knot. Then you're going to attach it into the exact middle of your work and make a slip stitch. And for the first stitches, you're going to chain while working with both the strands. Six, 7. So after this, you can cut off this tail. At least here you can be rest assured that your strap is secure. So you're going to make a chain of 150. So far you have 7. So I decided to go for 100 chains instead of 150 because it was going to be too long. After that, you're going to cut your yarn, pull through. So that's the first strap. And then you're going to make the second strap exactly the same way. So make a slip knot, attach your yarn, and then get your 2 strands, and make a chain of 100. Just make sure you have the same number of chains on both sides. So after your 100 chains, you're going to chain 1 and pull through, and this will be your second strap. Just cut off the excess yarn. And this is what your work will look like. These are the straps that are going to go behind your neck, like that. And now you're going to do the same exact thing on the sides here and on this side as well. So just get your yarn and make straps, and these ones are going to go to the back. So after all this, you are going to go ahead and weave in all your ends. We have those the loose ends that are lying around the top. Just use your darning needle and weave in all your ends, and that's basically it. I hope you had fun making this project, and make sure you tag me in your finished pieces. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.